Dear brothers and sisters, when the topic of the night prayer, or Tahajjud, comes up outside of Ramadan, it can sometimes feel distant or disconnected from people. Let's be honest. When we look at ourselves collectively, many of us struggle even with the 5 obligatory prayers. So some may ask, why talk about Tahajjud? Why discuss the night prayer when people are already finding it difficult to maintain the mandatory prayers? I ask myself this same question. If someone struggles with the Farah prayers, how can they even begin to consider praying at night? Ramadan, of course, is an exception. During Ramadan, people fast, and some of those who struggle with other obligations in the Deen find a unique opportunity to reconnect. We ask Allah to make the fasting of Ramadan a means for them to fulfill their other religious duties. Yet, just as some people struggle outside of Ramadan, they may relegate night prayers to only the special 10 nights and ignore it throughout the rest of the year. Some think, maybe one day my faith will reach the level where I feel connected enough to Allah to begin engaging in the night prayer. When we start reading about how the Salaf, the pious predecessors, approached the night prayer, we see it was treated almost as an obligation, though not technically obligatory. It was an obligation upon themselves for spiritual well-being. Reading about this can be demoralizing, because you may ask yourself, where am I compared to them? They would blame themselves for missing even a single night prayer, and you may not remember the last time you prayed a meaningful night prayer. It is true that we cannot prioritize voluntary prayers over obligatory ones. The 5 prayers are mandatory, and the night prayer does not replace them. However, experiencing the sweetness of voluntary deeds can strengthen our consistency with obligatory prayers and even revive the spirit of those prayers. The night prayer, when approached with sincerity, has the power to uplift the obligatory prayers, giving them more meaning and depth. For example, consider Surat al-Muzammil. During its initial revelation, Allah instructed the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to pray a significant portion of the night, reciting much of what was revealed. For an entire year, the night prayer was an obligation for the Ummah before the 5 daily prayers became mandatory. This was a period of immense hardship. The Prophet ﷺ and the early Muslims faced persecution, had no masjid to gather in, and often had to pray alone. They persevered, standing until their feet would swell. Only after a year did Allah reveal that the night prayer was voluntary, though the Prophet and many companions continued the practice diligently. The wisdom in this is clear. When a person struggles with life, the night prayer is not only a way to gain spiritual perspective and closeness to Allah, but also a unique source of relief from stress and anxiety. The quiet and solitude of night allow for a direct connection with Allah. No meetings, no interruptions, just you and your Lord. The rules of Tahajjud are flexible. Unlike the strict requirements of obligatory prayers, one can spend the night reciting just a few verses or dedicating specific time to stand, bow, and prostrate. It becomes a moment of joy and reflection. Just as fasting has physical and spiritual benefits that are affirmed by studies, the night prayer has a profound impact on the soul. Modern mindfulness studies show that small, consistent practices can improve mental health, reduce stress, and improve sleep quality. Similarly, the night prayer revitalizes the soul, strengthens the heart, and nurtures peace of mind. For those who are exhausted by the demands of daily life, Tahajjud provides a unique reprieve. The companions in the Salaf often describe night prayer as a source of immense joy. Even a small portion of night prayer, 10 to 20 minutes, can bring tranquility. It is during these moments that the heart connects with Allah in a way that no other action can replicate. A person who establishes the night prayer, even in small amounts, radiates a serenity and light that is evident to others, fostering love for Allah among fellow Muslims. During the day, the mind is often distracted by schedules and responsibilities. In contrast, the night prayer occurs when there are no distractions, no urgent appointments. The only thing sacrificed is sleep, and this sacrifice brings great spiritual return. Scholars liken it to physical exercise, initially tiring, but ultimately beneficial and strengthening. Even a brief session of night prayer transforms sleep into a source of barakah, while the prayer itself refreshes the soul and prepares a person for the day ahead. Whether prayed at the beginning, middle, or end of the night, Tahajjud is an opportunity for closeness to Allah. One should aim high, seeking not merely to be an average Muslim, but to strive for excellence in their relationship with Allah. Self-labeling as a non-practicing Muslim limits one's potential and connection to Allah. Aiming high may not guarantee perfection, but it creates a path toward spiritual growth and taqwa. The night prayer is a unique way to cultivate this connection. Allah descends during the night, calling out to His servants, asking who wishes to come close. It is a time when Allah is fully available, unrestricted by worldly schedules. The greatest request during this time is forgiveness, for sins are the greatest source of stress, forming a barrier between a person and Allah. Night prayer helps to remove this barrier. Seeking forgiveness during the quiet of night is a deeply personal, transformative act that draws a person closer to their Lord. Even small amounts of tahajjud are meaningful. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that anyone who recites just 10 verses will not be written among the heedless. 10 verses may seem small, but they are a step towards spiritual awareness. Reciting 100 verses marks one as pious, and 1,000 verses elevates one among the most devout. Even reciting a portion of the Quran nightly, as some companions did, brings immense spiritual reward and connection. The night prayer is not reserved for only the exceedingly pious. It is accessible to all Muslims who wish to stand in prayer and enjoy the connection with Allah. Small steps matter. Beginning with 10 or 20 minutes, even at irregular times, is better than avoiding it entirely. The essence is in the consistency and sincerity of the heart. Allah sees these efforts and rewards them accordingly. Abdullah ibn Umar used to recite a third of the Quran nightly before Fajr, even if it seems impossible. His example shows the level of devotion possible for those who seek closeness to Allah. Tahajjud is a unique pathway to Allah, one that cannot be replaced by any other act. For those struggling with the 5 prayers, engaging in tahajjud strengthens their overall connection, enhancing both voluntary and obligatory worship. The night prayer teaches patience, discipline, and dedication. It instills a rhythm in life, balancing worldly responsibilities with spiritual growth. Each act of tahajjud is an opportunity for reflection, forgiveness, and connection. The quiet of night allows a person to recalibrate, seek guidance, and find solace in Allah's presence. Even brief moments of night prayer, when approached with sincerity, yield immense rewards. The focus on Allah during this time allows the heart to release burdens and stresses, bringing clarity and peace. The night becomes a sacred space, a retreat for the soul, free from distractions and worldly concerns. Seeking forgiveness during tahajjud is especially powerful. Sins weigh on the conscience, creating spiritual barriers. By dedicating time for night prayer, a person can actively address these barriers, seeking Allah's mercy and cleansing their soul. This practice reinforces other acts of worship, providing spiritual momentum that strengthens overall devotion